We welcome you back to Louisville, Kentucky, and the first game of the evening session. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers take on the top-seeded Kentucky Wildcats in this South Region second-round game. Later, Iowa State and UConn here, and out west, 2 games, both in the South Region. Good evening, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist, along with Bill Raftery and Leslie Visser. Let's talk about the top-seeded team among the 68.
The stars are out tonight. Vern Lundquist, Anthony Davis, Terrence Jones. What a talented front line. You don't get anything free around the rim because of the big fella Lumen. He starts fast breaks for this team. Has really improved, I think, his offensive game as well. And the stud, the strong Terrence Jones, ready to attack the rim. Good in the open floor. Uses either hand. And he gets sent it in with the best of the Vern.
Western Kentucky comes in with a losing record, 16-18, but they won a scintillating contest in Dayton to get here. What do they bring to the dance?
Well, Derek Gordon is an outstanding performer, great recruit for this program. He's terrific at getting in the lane, understands what shot to take, the floater, uses the bounce beautifully, can step out and make some shots. This is a very solid player. Of course, George Fant, tough around the rim. They got to get him the ball in the box to convert.
Both schools about 90 miles away from Louisville, but there is a decided blue tip to the crowd. We'll be back in a moment.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, Dish, and by Bud Light.
In his first season as head coach at Western Kentucky, took over in January, Ray Harper. And he puts on the floor his starting 5. Jamal Crook, TJ Price, Derek Gordon, George Fant, and Ting Akol. And for Kentucky, Deron Lamb, Marcus Teague, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Terrence Jones, and the All-American as a freshman, Anthony Davis. And the head coach of the Wildcats, John Calipari, in his 3rd season with a record of 96-13, and the overall #1 seed in the tournament, destined for Atlanta if they win 2 games here. Introduce you to the officiating crew tonight: Jerry Pollard, Edwin Edsel, and Jerry Heater. And we are set to go. Western Kentucky, as we said, 16-18 on the season. The Kentucky Wildcats 30-2. They did lose their most recent outing. That was in the SEC championship game, a loss to Vanderbilt. Last we heard, Vandy leading Harvard down in Albuquerque. Into the hands of the Wildcats.
Vern Lundquist, Western Kentucky Goose.
Marcus Teague, here's Kidd-Gilchrist.
Everybody staying at home.
Little muscle, rejected. Goaltending.
That's a pretty good message, though. Let them know it won't be easy. Ting around the rim here, pretty darn good height. Wow, good call as well.
And so the Wildcats with an early lead. Here's Derek Gordon.
Very confident player. Nice duck in. Got to squeeze it.
Too strong.
But Davis is always around. Those long arms swatting.
And a second foul, or first foul, I beg your pardon. See who got this one.
Non-shooting. Dribble drive. A scrape from the side.
Jamal Crook. Junior out of Louisville.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They're giving him 2. I thought that was on the floor, but he was never good with the whistle.
No, but you were pretty good criticizing those who blew it.
I usually like relatives working my games.
Teague, the freshman out of Indianapolis.
think the big concern for Western Kentucky, a good start, don't you?
Yeah, I do too.
They get their legs under them. Great defense. Sean Calipari's team guards, and they are magnificent on this end of it. They go toe-to-toe, and of course, anything loose, he picks up in the back. Davis.
That one rejected. Guess who?
The great negator.
From the corner.
He just ignites. Bill Russell was one of the best I ever saw in the 50s. I was a baby at that point, but starting fast breaks, keeping the ball in play, and getting runouts. This kid right in that league.
And so the hope for a quick start, not to be for Western Kentucky. Ball on the floor, back outside.
Nice job by Fant drifting out there. Got a good look.
Deron Lamb, number 20. And back to Teague.
And Lamb really can stroke it, too. Teague's growth as a point guard has been magnificent. Really valuing the ball, don't you think?
Yes. Quick catch and release. Deron Lamb. That's inside the arc. Wow. But the Wildcats have stormed to an 8-0 start.
Nice pin down, real simple. Nobody hugging the hip. And coming to a shooting hand, too. You're trailing.
In a turnover fest in Dayton the other night, this Western Kentucky team came from 16 down with 5 minutes to go to defeat Mississippi Valley State. That's another block. And watch this Kentucky run out.
It's just magnificent. It's sort of the drift to the corner, so smart. I got my arrows messed up, but nevertheless, the result effective is just a nice little, they do a great job. Dribble exchange or curl and come into that shooting hand with the trail guy defensively. Pretty well executed.
Mentioned that Western Kentucky won that game despite missing 4 straight free throws down the stretch.
Now you got to pull up early because you're not going to get anything there.
That was deflected. Don't know if they'll count that as a full block. Ball on the floor. Terrence Jones. Here's Teague. Fant reaches around from behind.
And they don't take bad shots either. You know, they're very well coached. We know that. They're very talented, and they compete. Look at this guy. Scoop to the hoop by the lefty. You got to take that away. I know he can go right, but Jones, wow, unleashed left is too tough.
Kentucky has not missed from the floor. They're 4 of 4.
Ray Harper showing a lot of confidence in his guys. Now that's the shot you got to take. Don't go in and make him wealthier.
There's a turnover. Here's Crook all the way.
Pretty
nice. And a rejection. That will be goaltending.
You got it. Boy, Ray Harper showing a lot of confidence, his team. I thought he might have called the timeout there when the run got going, but showing he's backing his kids, and just a great effort by Kentucky. Gilchrist doesn't give up on it. One of the many. Interesting. Below the rim.
10-4. 16:30 to go first half. Western Kentucky out of Bowling Green. And, of course, Kentucky, Lexington.
What a great state for basketball when you think of it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
We saw Murray State this afternoon. Louisville won. They are the host site here. But the team, of course, plays in Portland. And the foul is on Vinny Zolo, who's off the bench. Number 41.
Now, you've had a number of Kentucky games already, and they just keep getting better, I think, don't
Well,
you?
yes.
I know Vandy took nice check out. I know Vandy beat them, but experience prevailed a little bit that game. Whoa! Price is correct or right. Well, that helps things. Spreads the D. You got to make shots against them and don't get into the lane without the floater.
That's 7 unanswered for the Hilltoppers now.
There's a ball screen, empty side.
Almost a wraparound pass. Jones puts it on the deck. Here comes Derek Gordon. Pushes McDonald with, oh my goodness.
Nice rebound by Zolo on the weak side.
Yep, Zolo got it. That didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock's still going. Now at 20.
Khalil a little pumped up on that release. The open middle with a little duck in on occasion.
That's Khalil McDonald, number 3. This is Gordon. Zolo sets the screen, 4 on the shot clock. And a foul called on Kentucky. I believe it's on Terrence Jones. It is indeed. First media timeout, 10-7 Kentucky. And now the Powerade sideline report. With the report, here's our colleague Leslie Visser.
Thanks, Vern. You and Billy were talking about the enormity of basketball in the state of Kentucky. The great Clem Haskins just told me in other cities where in August they are talking about the NFL, here they're talking about who'd you recruit. Of course, Kentucky bought all these tickets anticipating they'd be here. They bought them months ago. Western Kentucky was only able to get a total of 1,000 tickets. One young woman I asked, how'd you get tickets? And she said, oh, Coach Harper is my uncle. Vern?
Perfect. Ray Harper took over for Ken McDonald back in January when this Western Kentucky team was 5-11. They won 4 in 4 days in the Sun Belt, and then almost miraculously that come from behind victory the other night. Here is Price, and it was his old-fashioned three-point play that gave them the lead in that game, which they held on.
And what a job. He'll be the godfather of this area, the way he's worked over at Western Kentucky. And with Theoka's director of operations, Charlie Theoka, is a friend of mine. It's his son. He was telling me the calmness that he brought, the relaxed nature, and the turnout for the press conference, right?
Yes. Well, he said attendance at the game before the coaching change was made was 1,000. The attendance first game when Ray Harper took over was 6,000.
Jumped up in a push-up. Deron Lamb there, a little token press. And this guy's been around. He's been successful wherever he has coached. Throws a little wrinkle no matter how good you are. And look at that extension. That made it easy for Edwin Edsel. By the way, his nickname is Duke, after Duke Snyder.
Now they insist that no nicknames.
Oh, okay.
Used on the official sheet. No, you giving him away now. Now the world will know him as Edwin. Khalil McDonald back to Price.
Wow. Once again, he's right up.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, you can see right from our seat.
Yes.
Great stroke.
Yes, you could. Kentucky's given up 12 in a row. Let me rephrase that. Western Kentucky has scored 3 in a row.
And look at that distance.
12.
Goodness, 25, 26 feet. Getting those puppies organized and threading that baby. And this team now is playing for a lot more than just an NCAA game. I mean, this is something that they've lived with. They've read the papers. They've been absorbed. And a lot of them are probably grown up Kentucky fans, quite frankly. But now's their chance in the sun. And they are on a roll and playing with confidence.
Tied 12 with 14-18 to go. Khalil McDonald, a senior out of Brooklyn, New York. Jumper, short, very short.
Darius Miller, who really gets out on people. Nice job going around the bumps.
Kid Gilchrist, there's a pump fake.
Nice pass.
Darius Miller, the senior, and then the basket off the line.
You know what John Calipari does? He gets great players to play unselfishly. It's not about numbers, it's about victory.
Here's Gordon. Zolo comes, sets the pick.
Well, Gordon very good at getting in the lane and getting that tough shot. Don't force it.
Now Terrence Jones, he'll fall for that one.
Nobody back.
And then at the other end.
The catch. The finish. You make a mistake, you pay. In the Bluegrass State, the run out. Solid completion, Kentucky. Vern, I know by your attitude you were a chippy hanger when you were a kid, but this is hard work. First of all, you guard your guy, force him into a good shot. This is permissible, but how about the catch with the one hand They just make you pay, punish you. Nice run out, clever move, and a terrific look by Davis.
Michael Wiltshire, beg your pardon, Kyle Wiltshire, during the timeout off the bench. I was just disconcerted there because I've been insulted by the best. I've never been called a chippy hanger.
Chippy hanger?
Yeah.
Well, Wiltshire is a guy that can shoot it from deep, and John was raving about his post moves. Nice job getting it inside here.
Here's Marcus Teague. Spot up three. No, not this time. That's Davis, offensive board.
Well, he's 3 for 19 now from deep, but that will come eventually. It's a nice-looking stroke.
Teague looks back at John Calipari. Wiltshire wearing number 33, another freshman out of Portland Jesuit High School.
And there's their dribble handoff and a lock low. What? Tell you what, that is a nice move right there.
Yes,
even
it
with
is.
The shove.
Yes.
Giant step for Mankind as he stepped in the lane.
Foul is on King Cole.
And right here, everybody playing straight up. Cole doing a pretty good job just forcing him into a tough shot. I foresee him facing the basket in the future. Yep. I think so. Even though he'll have a post-up game.
Are you suggesting the future's not in Lexington? Get exclusive in-game video highlights, up-to-the-minute scores and stats of all NCAA March Madness games at ncaa.com. You know, it's interesting because John Calipari has a reputation in the country of being the master of the one-and-done player, and John insisting to us yesterday he hates the rule, and he would like to see some changes in it, but that is the rule.
It's the way it works. He's had so many good kids prosper at the next level, too. Look at him. Beautiful. Little kiss shot on the runner. But Davis just hurries, impacts with changes.
Davis again, prowling the perimeter. Here's Wiltshire.
A nice cross screen to get Davis in the box, and a little late with the pass.
Yeah, and
well
then the reach around, knocked it away, but Kentucky's got it back. So we've got Teague, Davis, Wiltshire, Lamb on the floor. 5 on the shot clock. Teague takes the jumper. I don't know that he wanted it.
Play that empty trip just because they didn't time the delivery to the box. Look at the steal of Cole. Good job.
Khalil McDonald, the senior guard, will be at the line when we come back. Kentucky leads by 4 here in Louisville. First meeting between these two in 11 years. The last time they got together was in Lexington, and the Hilltoppers pulled off the upset against the 4th-ranked Wildcats. That game was a season opener for both teams. Western Kentucky and Coach Dennis Felton won 64-52. They've only played 5 times, despite the proximity of the two schools.
Are you trying to promote a rivalry?
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be nice.
I mean, you know.
Dennis, class act, went on to Georgia.
Yes.
Good man. Started out with Rick Barnes, as you know, up in Providence.
We've got some interested visitors here watching the game. UConn Huskies, they will take on Iowa State in the nightcap in the second of these South Region second-round games. 18-14.
Little steps there. Now Cole's got Wiltshire. He's got to be careful. He was helping out. Wilshire's going to bite him with threes if he stays in the lane, just content to look and block shots.
Third turnover now for the Wildcats of Kentucky. 30-2 for the season is Kentucky. Western Kentucky 16-18. And that rough start at 5-11. Coaching change made.
Nice pass.
And look at that.
He fought it instead of catching it. 10.
Darius Miller, here's for 3. Rebound, Hilltoppers.
So the Hilltoppers can push. Great balance by KU, though. Kentucky.
McDonald for 3. No. Another springboard rebound. This by Michael Kidd. Here's Wiltshire. This is what you call it.
Exactly. You just can't stay up on it. That's a tough matchup. He's an unerring deep shooter.
A Cole.
Nice block, but a big fella.
Yes.
Wilshire.
Kyle Wilshire with the block.
Just not a jump shooter from deep. And you got to learn the whole game when you play for Cal. And seals that baseline, and then a nice job going straight up.
Now Wilshire, John Calipari saying yesterday with us, he's got a huge upside.
In his post game, he said, is what's amazing about him is they don't need it with this group. How about this one?
Count the basket.
Score the goal. Well, we saw the deep jumpers and the ability from long range, and taking it into the mid-market. No cap on this move. A little kiss and a rat-tat-tat. They are playing with confidence.
And T.J. Price, the freshman out of Slidell, Louisiana. There you go. He's got 13 of 17 points. T.J. Price, the 6'3" guard.
That's a pretty good start in the NCAA. There's that little flex screen. They love to run this for Gilchrist. They do it so successfully. He is a matchup nightmare. Speed and strength, size, whatever you need, tough to control.
Kid Gilchrist, freshman out of Summerdale, New Jersey. Now Price.
They just rode that flex screen against Vandy and give him as many touches as they can, Gilchrist.
Moving screen, Zolo. Let us take a look at T.J. Price.
We saw the load off deep. I mean, this is one where you just don't show quick enough. You can't go under on him. But how about the body control? The mid-range game, something lacking when you shoot as well as he does from deep. But he's got it all, particularly early tonight.
Wildcats by 3, 9:49 to go.
Terrence Jones, another guy that can really do his job on the box. Nice bowl, goodness.
And the basket.
What'd you think? I thought that was pretty good defense.
I did too.
At worst, just to play on. And nice coordination. You seal the baseline, get over in here, and then you get some help from the top side. And if anything, Fant trying to give ground there. I just think he just let him score the deuce and keep going. How about that switch of the hands, too?
Terrence Jones, who, like Wilshire's out of Portland, is at the line.
Well, he had a tip in the championship of the SEC facing outward behind his back. I mean, he's so strong and clever. Trying to speed him up now with this full court pressure.
Baseline jumper is good. That's for 2. And that's Ting Akol, the young man from Sudan.
Played pretty well in the Sun Belt final, that kid. He's got an interesting matchup here with Davis. He ought to slough off when he's out.
Beauty inside the 3-point line.
Don't you like that kid?
Darius Miller. And he's a fan favorite of Kentucky.
Oh, he should be.
Yes.
Puts it on the deck. Defense. Blocks, you name it. So big ones against Jeffrey Taylor. Nice fight over the top by Lamb.
Crook. Not there. Davis, and he's fouled.
Number 2, not a good one by Crook.
Ray Harper started his collegiate. He's from Kentucky. He played at the University of Texas for the late Abe Lemons. Played there for 2 years, and then when Abe was dismissed as the head coach at Texas, Ray Harper transferred back to his home state, graduated from Kentucky Wesleyan, coached at Oklahoma City, got him into 2 national championships. Also coached at Kentucky Wesleyan, 2 championships there. He's been around.
And a heck of a baseball player, we're told.
Yeah,
he was on a scholarship for that. Played 2 sports, I think.
Played for Cliff Gustafson on one of the great University of Texas baseball teams.
Love this kid's attitude, too. Never changes his expression, just plays. He said it's a joy for him to be out there. Much better job trailing. Then he switched that little post rub. Nice fiddle high-low. How about this?
And the tip not quite there. Economy off the bench, number 15. And they got him. He's called for the foul. He's pleading. Guess what?
It will be ignored, I assure you. But a nice little tip. And George is saying, calm down. You don't want any emotional tirades to cost your team.
So Jones is back at the line. Ricardo Akamane guilty of the foul. This one gets the nice gentle bounce and falls through. Watch every 2012 March Madness game live on your computer, iPad, iPhone, or select Android phones. NCAA March Madness Live. Visit ncaa.com/March Madness for more information.
Well, John really has a lean bench when you think of it, but he rotates them nicely. Gilchrist getting the blow now. Miller back in.
And the lead now 28-19 with under 8 to go first half. A 10-2 run.
With great pressure on a nice double screen and a hold on the cut. Well executed. Price was the one trying to fill the box.
7:49 to go first 8. Western Kentucky against Kentucky.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Northwestern Mutual, Buick, and by Fidelity Investments.
Arena seats 22,000. And most of these seats, Leslie mentioned a while ago, about 1,000 went to the Western Kentucky fans because they didn't know if they were going to be in the NCAA tournament until they won the Sun Belt. Meanwhile, a predominantly blue tint to all this because this game was sold out this session and most of the tickets purchased by Kentucky fans. John Calipari telling us yesterday that a lot of these fans buy these seats because they can't get into Rupp Arena.
It's amazing. Yeah. And one of my favorite guys from Kentucky, Joe B. Hall, in attendance. Nice to see him before the game. He's got the blue jacket on. Quick jack.
Always.
And a run out. Lamb. It's amazing how bad shots start fast breaks. Boy, you can book it. Mark it down. Good teams make you pay, and Kentucky certainly in that category.
And they're starting to stretch it out now. Western Kentucky made a heck of a run to take a short-lived lead.
Nice space dribble. Unable to convert.
Here's Teague.
John called it, and they didn't call timeout, but the TV timeout,
yeah,
that first one, they just stepped their defense up. And look at this blow by now. Quick timeout. Nobody stepped up. The ability to put it on the deck, Vern. They can do it all. Whatever you might need. They take advantage of miscues on your part. You bear the backcourt. They can hang tough and finish with the best of them. And then the blow by. Take it to the 10. Woo!
TJ Price for Western Kentucky, 13 points. Terrence Jones has equaled that. Look at the points in the paint. Line 3.
Unbelievable. And those aren't post-up points.
No,
They're drive points or the opportunity in the open floor to get into the lane. And they have some following. It is a religion.
And now a little pressure applied. Yep, little change up.
Little wrinkle.
McDonald.
Look at the pressure on the ball. And this is what people don't understand. You think of all the glitter of Kentucky. This is hard work.
In that case, it was Deron Lamb. Baseline move. Kenny Honeybullet. Here's Teague, 6.5 to go first half. That ball chased down in the corner by McDonald.
A chance.
Yes, indeed. Gordon, very nice. Wow. Gordon went down hard.
And, you know, you got to protect the guy. That was a foul as well on that play in the open floor. Good finish by Gordon, nevertheless.
(32-21) Kentucky. Bill mentioned Joe B. Hall. He's really a fun guy to be around, isn't he?
A great guy. Of course, Jimmy Spinarco, one of our colleagues, I said, do you guys realize Givens was free on the foul line when he had that great game? I went to Ireland with Joe. He taught my wife and I about horses, and I taught him about some beverages here and there.
I gotcha.
We had a ball, though. We did a couple of clinics over there. Just a terrific guy.
The idea of you in Ireland is frightening.
No curfew. Getting some stops now for Western Kentucky. Get the legs under them again. Took a pretty good jolt, and now, how are you going to react?
It strikes me it's unusual to see Joe B. Hall with that Denny Crum in the same building.
Well, they do that radio show
yes, of
here.
Course they do.
I'm sure you have over the years, done it with them. It's a scream, the two of them. Mortal enemies and now best of friends once
exactly.
it's over.
I'm wondering if Coach Crum made the trip out to Louisville. I don't know. Out to Portland with Louisville. I don't know. Cardinals won earlier today. Here's a foul underneath on Darius Miller, #1.
Because, you know, you mentioned Jim Host earlier in the day about the job he's done. Big Kentucky guy, and he was saying that the coordination between Kentucky fans and Louisville fans is pretty amazing when they have a job to do, like putting a building like this together or any other support necessity. Back screen into the pin at the line.
Gordon. 5.5 to go. McDonald. Look at the switch.
A pretty good handle, too. You got to go strong if you go. Nice footwork, huh? How about that?
It really was. Hannibal, sophomore from Bel Air, Texas, in the Houston area. There's Davis.
I always let you say those names first. You ever notice?
I do notice.
Pretty, huh?
Very.
Nice counter. Smooth. Sky hook like, huh? When he extends that arm like Kareem used to.
Best sky hook ever?
Yeah.
Kareem, I think so.
Well, you remember the great hooks, Bob Hoobriggs from your old neighborhood, right?
Hooks Hoobriggs.
Yeah.
University of Washington Huskies.
And Davis couldn't get over there because they moved just a step or two.
Price has 15 points. And the margin is 9, 34-25, 4:18 to go. Davis again. Handles the ball pretty well, doesn't he? And there's a foul on Fant. Let's take another look at this Shabar-like move.
To be this good, this young, is incredible. Sets him up with the dip to the right shoulder, come back to the left. That is gorgeous and unblockable as well. This kid has got some upside.
Teague at the line.
We had a note on Teague the last 16 games, how he's been solid. 86 assists, solid, 37 turnovers. A little blow for the big fella.
So Davis sits down. Teague shoots one more. And the lead is back to double digits. It is 11. Kentucky now in the double bonus for the next 4 minutes and 8 seconds.
Old-time weave, and we can both relate to that. They run out. Tough match for Wilshire now.
Yes.
Price should have taken his guy.
Threw it away.
A nice double, well disguised.
Time call, 3:46 to go. Ray Harper's upset.
Time for the All-State March Mayhem update. John Jenkins has scored double digits in 67 straight games. Had 27 as Vandy beat Harvard 79-70 after winning the SEC over Kentucky. Vern?
All right, Ernie, thank you. And he takes on Wisconsin Saturday, while Syracuse, having escaped UNC Asheville, boy, what a nail-biter for them, will take on Kansas State. So seeds advance as expected, 1-8 and 4-5.
Pretty attractive games, aren't they?
Yes. Here, the winner of this one will take on either UConn or Iowa State. That's our final game here. Timeout called Kentucky.
Nice job, Western Kentucky.
(36-25) Kentucky. Just pointed out they weren't quite ready for that little defensive wrinkle.
And John, well, one thing about this guy, he goes right at you. You might consider these kids extraordinary players. It doesn't matter if they do something wrong. He doesn't back off. He gets right after them. He's unhappy with their preparation on that inbound.
11-point Wildcat lead. Make it 13-point Wildcat lead.
Good coaches come with something, don't they, to fill at the post and land with the ability to put it on the deck.
And that was Deron Lamb who got the basket. He's now got 11 points.
Nice job stringing out. They switch it. Oh, he backed him. Unfortunately, he discarded. He backed him all the way under the rim. At some point, you got to decide, let me go up strong. Onebo unable to make a decision. Watch how close he gets to it. He's got him all the way under the basket. At some point, you got to go up.
Or sit down.
As the case may be.
Yes. One or t'other. And now Wiltshire will inbound. We were just commenting to each other during the timeout. Wiltshire has the countenance of a 12-year-old. He's really a baby-faced kid.
Angelic look. I bet you had one of those for
I did, yeah.
About a half hour.
Mine lasted, I was in my mid-40s.
Nice kick.
From the corner, no. Rebound, Ting, a Cole. Here's Price.
Well, what a half he's had, huh? That time he puts it on the deck. We've seen everything out of that kid. Deep, middle, pull up. And that time, ripping it to the 10.
And he's going to go to the line where for the season he's hitting 71%. This is not the first game for Western on this floor. They actually played Louisville here earlier in the season, lost by 10. Coming up on AT&T at the half, scores and highlights, and the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. In that game against the Cardinals here in downtown Louisville, Western Kentucky had a 13-point lead at one point. But kind of the story their year until the last 7 games, they wound up losing by 10.
They sort of lost their way early, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yes.
And for Ray to put this together, or pull it together, speaks volumes about him.
Well, it's going to be a task tonight, but they have had, I think it's 12 consecutive games decided by single digits. Here comes Price again. 38-26.
Tina Cole really did a nice job just disturbing Davis.
That one's rejected.
He took care of that, didn't he?
When that happens, here comes Kentucky. Oh, Johns tracked it down. Under 2 to go, first half.
You know, the most impressive thing about Davis is running the floor. I just think he's phenomenal. That's that long play they like to run. They don't need it because they let the drive go. And terrific read by Teague.
Largest lead of the first half now. It's 14.
Price trying to take his guy jump. What a settle here. Goodness.
Davis with a rebound. Teague. Wow, no call.
Oh, goodness! Woo! Turn the switch back on. The Thunder.
As they would say in Norway. Oofta.
Man, oh man. Wow, that is incredible to bring that frame that high and that much under control.
Darius Miller's got it. Davis is down. Man in the corner. That's good. Deron Lamb.
They can blow you out in seconds. All of a sudden, you're inhaling, gasping.
Well, wasn't that something? From the corner. A block. Blocked. All right, Bill Referee. Take the first one.
Wow. This is one of the premier ones that you will see. Under the rim, on the miss. And how about that? The gather. The climax. Send it in. That's the dominant hand, but the kick out, they come in waves. You take away the dribble drive, and they knock the deep one.
Now let's check in with Leslie Visser.
John, you always say it starts with defense. You held them under 40%. What were you pleased with?
We did all right. A little bit of pick and roll, middle pick and roll we broke down on, and they took advantage. They're a physical team. They're pushing us a little bit, but we played pretty well.
What did you do with T.J. Price? He had one basket in the last 10 minutes.
We're just all trying to guard everybody. I'm trying to get them in a stance and bounce, and we're doing pretty good, though.
Well, offensively, it's also quite a show. Thank you.
I can barely hear you because now you want to ask me a question. Go ahead. Now, what did you say?
I said offensively, you shot 60%. What were you pleased with there?
Well, we're getting it to the rim. We're making open shots. We're creating for each other, so it was good.
Excellent. Thanks, John.
All right, a monster jam, you would call this. Wow. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament is sponsored by Miller Lite, Autotrader.com, TD Ameritrade, and by Vitamin Water.
Well, it's called the Queen City here in Louisville, Kentucky, the site of this intra-state battle. Kentucky 45, Western Kentucky 26. Vern Lundquist, Bill Raftery, along with Leslie Visser here in Louisville. That's a pretty good team, the guys wearing blue.
Yeah, I heard they were good. That's what people have told me. This was really good. I mean, they've done a little bit of everything. The defense was extraordinary. Shot selection, not the best at times for Western Kentucky, leading to some unbelievable runouts, and finishes just extraordinary what some of these kids can do. And that's not even talking about Davis' ability around the rim.
Now let's take a look behind the stats presented by LG. You can see offensively, at least, the whole show has been T.J. Price for the Hilltoppers. And Kentucky, not surprisingly, spreading the wealth.
And Derek Gordon, a guy that I think has to step up a little bit if they're going to creep back in this in Western Kentucky. Had a decent run. They need another one now. Bad end of the half, I thought, didn't you?
Yes, 11-1 at the end. Derek Gordon will inbound for the Hilltoppers right above us. Ray Harper and the Western Kentucky champions of the Sun Belt when they won 4. They were down in the last 2 games, especially in the championship game to North Texas. They wound up winning that 74-70. And let's go check in with Leslie Visser.
Hey, guys, at the half, Coach Ray said that they are very impressed with Kentucky, but they are not emotionally defeated. It's just what Billy said. He said we need much more out of Derek Gordon. Also, he wanted a slow pace to start the game, not that up and down, Vern.
All right, there's a miss by Kentucky. That's interesting. Here's Jamal Crook.
I think it's easier said, less than done. They just force you with that great defense to uptick. A nice twice now. A bad pass out of bounds and a miss at the rim.
How about that? Off the glass. And a blocking foul called on, I believe, Derek Gordon. It is, and it's his first.
Interesting, the two high school teammates, John Calipari telling both of us he knows Gordon's game as well as anybody, because in recruiting Michael Kidd Gilchrist, the two teammates against one another. So little bragging rights for St. Patrick's in Elizabeth, which is about to be closed, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, they apparently short of funds and unable to continue. Hopefully they can revive that.
I do turn to you for all things high school in the greater New York area.
I thought you were going to say turn to you for a donation. I mean, I like the school, but let's not go too far.
Yeah. Open your pocketbook. Here's Gordon. And a foul called. How about these two when they were high school teammates? There you are.
Oh, goodness. How about that, huh? St. Pat's. Kevin Boyle, who actually, I gave a scholarship to their coach, and then I left to join people like you. And so Kevin ended up going to St. Peter's after a little stay at Seton Hall. And ended up doing a great job with kids like that. Great shot.
Little misfire by Tate McCall. And a foul called against Western Kentucky. Again, I believe this is going to be faint. Let's see. Nope, it is not. It's T.J. Price. Ray Harper, as we mentioned, began his collegiate career at the University of Texas under the late Abe Lemons. One of the most humorous men who's ever prowled the sideline. Ray actually served as a pallbearer at Abe Lemons' funeral in Oklahoma City a few years back. This one saved by Derek Gordon.
Oh, nice. Look at Davis. He stops the dribble, then goes and gets his man. Whatever you need, coach.
There's the feed right side.
Oh, and that was the right hand. Oh, I believe. I see the light. Oh, they could just.
Oh, my gosh.
So much for controlling the tempo with this team. They just capitalize on plays like that.
Here's Jones again.
And along came Jones. A nice dish, stop at the foul line, no charge there, and the hammer. They used to call Derek Coleman at Syracuse the long arm of the law, but this is one for the record. Bang! Strong.
He's had a couple tonight.
He sure has.
Whoa. 48-26.
Runs the floor, great body too. I mean, just a physical specimen.
And a reminder that South Dakota State and Baylor are underway on True TV. The early report had South Dakota State leading by 8, and that one short. Their ball.
A good closeout by Price. Now that, to me, is a hurry, because he's there. You're trying to get rid of it before you have full control, and this is the run out. Nice play. Fan.
Now that was George Fan who got up and knocked that one free. T.J. Price at the other end. Oh, man.
He never stops.
That's 4 blocks. And at the other end, the payoff.
Can you get a block and an assist at the same time? I mean, he is amazing. Bill Russell's watching somewhere saying, I'd like to coach that kid. He plays a lot like me.
No upsets in the tournament thus far. Wisconsin with Bo Ryan yet again into the round of 32, and Syracuse did get a scare earlier today against number 16 UNC Asheville. We've got a 1 versus 16 here, and the 1 is firmly in control.
They are playing well. It was interesting to hear Kenny Smith talking about Syracuse 2-3 zone and getting after people. And Krista Heimer says, how come you guys You know, never tell the man-to-man guy to go to zone. But interesting, got to be ready for anybody anymore. And what an outstanding job by that guy. All in that 3-second lane, just devastating with his attack.
You do a pretty fair impression of Jim Baylor. Well, you have been around him for a while.
Yeah, too much, to be honest with you.
Nice play. Khalil McDonald off the glass and good. Now Kyle Wilcher from Portland is back out there with Davis. Think about this now. With the 4 blocks, Anthony Davis has 161 blocks this year. But Terrence Jones has said, hey, give me a little ink as well, huh?
And he deserves it. Terrific around the rim. He just goes big time. That is just incredible. And this Hammer court is adjourned. Wow. Put the gavel down, Judge.
John Calipari is going to send 2 on, Jones and Darius Miller. And Gordon's going to get a rest. Zolo, McDonald.
So he'll make them forget everybody. Mel Turpin, Sam Bowie, Riddick, right? I mean, did it? Well,
no. We had a chance to chat at length with Joe B. Hall during the halftime break, and Joe said, what John Calipari said yesterday, can you imagine if I had these kids for 4 years?
And there's a case in point.
Yeah.
And just effortless, runs the floor, puts pressure on you to get back.
I mean, we all have to deal with what is, but it sometimes makes you wish things were not what is.
Whoa. John Calipari can't believe it. He was mad at Lamb for giving Wilshire the ball at the other end and just didn't like that charge. But this is after the play, and I think a nice avoiding. One of those that maybe just a play on. That's a little bit of a flop, and fortunate Mr. Kentucky retains possession.
51-28.
Nice out of bounds play. Unfortunately, slipped the screen.
That'll be Kentucky ball.
And with such a lean bench, normally you would be concerned for Kentucky with the long timeouts and the halftime. There's plenty of rest. And he continues to rotate Cal.
And George Fant is going to get a rest now for Ray Harper's Western Kentucky team. Wilcher.
There's that favorite play. Not a good look.
And tipped by T.J. Price.
They run that for Gilchrist quite a bit. That time they ran it for Jones. Little flex, and then he seals his guy. Didn't get a good angle on the delivery.
Back out. Zolo. Pump fake. Well, he didn't block it, but he altered it.
Look at this. They really attack. They don't give you anything easy.
15 minutes, 38 seconds to go in this one. Wildcats lead.
Back in Louisville, where Kentucky has a commanding lead, Vern and Billy were talking about how Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Derek Gordon were high school teammates at St. Pat's in New Jersey. They said they started talking about this reunion in an NCAA game back when they were juniors. Now, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, everyone has seen, he's sort of Kentucky's shutdown corner. He was on Gordon in the beginning. He wanted to cover him, and he was switched to TJ. He said that this is the most important thing for him. His defense is what he values, no less than Kyle Macy just told me he's the best defensive Kentucky guard I've seen.
My goodness, that's high praise from a pretty good player at Kentucky. Thank you, Les.
Remember Kyle Macy playing at Kentucky? Joe Dean used to do the color analysis years ago. And you think, Kyle Macy from Lexington came live. He could shoot it.
Boy, he could. Here's Miller, off-balance shot, rebound. Jones off the glass for 2 more.
They are just decimating in that area. John Calipari over there as though it's a 1-point game.
You and I saw the same thing, yeah. He turned around, he started coaching right away.
Oh, that's why they're good.
Jones, 19 points, 8 of 10 from the field as a team coming out of the timeout. Here's Gordon off the glass.
And he's not been able to do much of that, and that's really hurt their cause, I feel. Second down, no! You know, the old fake and recover routine on 2-on-1 pass, they don't work anymore. They just throw it up, adjust it, squeeze it, and finish.
That one out of bounds. Well, another look.
Just running the floor is part of it. I think the best part of it. This kid is so multi-talented, and they're unselfish. Boy, play above the rim. It's very difficult to contend with.
Nigel Snipes, number 21 for Western Kentucky, a brief appearance on the floor. He's now back on the bench.
There's that little dribble handoff and say goodnight. And they got a tee.
Technical, hanging on the rim. Listen to the crowd react to this.
Yeah. This was part of our discussion on running through. Greg Anthony was a little adamant. This is not the play he was talking about, but running full speed. It's hard to. Now, I think he had to control his body there. That is a pretty good case in point. Now, he's had to go backward. Now, he could fall and hurt himself. I think that's one you got to let go.
And that was Greg Anthony's point at the seminar, that you've got to give a guy a chance to protect himself.
And his point was on a fast break when you're running,
right,
and just to stop your momentum. But that is very similar in a half-court set.
Well, McDonald shoots the free throws and cans them both. Take another look at this.
Well, I think there's a lot of envy, anybody that's booing, because they couldn't do this. And right there's a man on his back shoulder.
But they're booing the technical call.
Yeah, exactly. Irate.
Yeah. .15 remaining in this one. Gordon. And again, Jones was there to alter the shot, but a nice midair correction by Derek Gordon.
Well, you can see his game around the rim. He's solid in that lane.
Now, Bill, we mentioned that you see Gordon now with 8 points on 4 of 7 from the field. Shooting percentages, I mean, Kentucky has been torrid, almost 59% from the field in the game, and Western Kentucky, oh boy.
Gordon just didn't contain whatsoever on the dribble. And that's part of being inexperienced and not being conscientious on the defensive end. Miller, who is a solid player, fills it up. Here's that little turn. I just love this play. They either go to the rim or the lob if you try and double up on the dribbler. Strong at that point of attack.
Price picks up his 3rd foul. Darius Miller hits the first, and T.J. Price is going to have to rest.
And what I love about this, earlier they had that lob. That's the same play. And this time, the defense doesn't recognize, stays at home on the big. And Miller to the 10.
2 free throws for Miller. .59-34.
Over bigs can guard big or little. Look at Jones out on the floor. Now the automatic switch with Miller.
Jumper Gordon.
Soft.
Nice soft shot.
Good for him. This is the talent.
Yeah.
You didn't see the real Derek in that first half.
59-36. That's inside the 3-point line. Marcus Teague, the freshman from Indianapolis.
Well, his growth has been terrific.
Well, John Calipari, we've referenced the seminar that folks from Turner and us from CBS had in New York City last Monday and Tuesday. And on a conference video, John Calipari with us, and we're talking about how pleased he was with the overall play of Marcus Teague at the point.
And he's great with point guards, too. And he's great at getting guys who are combo guards to play the point. I mean, that's hard. It's a tough adjustment for the young people.
Wilcher replaces Davis. Jumper, no.
Of course, John with.
How about this? Teague.
A little bit of a breakdown now. Showtime. I started to say, you think of Rose and Wall, Evans, the guys that he's had. Evans, of course, Tyreek at Memphis. The growth process extraordinary. Because they come in with a lot of talent. It didn't hurt.
Wilcher went after the rebound, and they got him for the foul.
I think he had been out of bounds and didn't establish, Vern. Re-establish, I should say.
Deron Lamb is on now for Marcus Teague. Kentucky's got Miller, Kid Gilchrist, Wilcher, Jones. There's George Fant. Travel.
Jones was refereeing there. He couldn't believe it. He got the call, the walk call, I should say. They are in the game, and that's why they're so good. Think of how well Vandy had to play to win their game against them.
Yes.
Wilson with a nice bite.
Jumper.
Now time Miller.
Two more. And a foul. And timeout.
They love it. And why not, Vern?
65-36, 11:57 to go.
Ernie Johnson in New York right now on True TV. Nate Wolters, number 8 in the nation in scoring, leading South Dakota State to an early advantage, 19-7, but Baylor's come roaring back. Great game brewing on True TV as we take you back to Louisville, guys.
All right, Ernie, thank you. Let's take a look at the second and third rounds. UNLV, Colorado. Baylor, South Dakota State. Tomorrow, Notre Dame, Xavier down in Greensboro. And Duke, Lehigh. It has not escaped a lot of folks' attention that the top 2 seeds in the South are Duke and Kentucky on this, the 20th anniversary of a game remembered by many, 104-103.
Well, they had a trivia question earlier in the day. They had Leitner was the answer.
Yes.
How about the crowd response?
Yeah, the crowd booed the scoreboard.
A little drag on the arm and count it.
And a basket. Yes, indeed. Well, that Duke-Kentucky game, here's the third personal picked up.
Wilshire, the guy on the top with the scrape down. A couple of times they missed the post feed.
And he's getting a little coaching now from John Calipari. Who he's getting a lot of coaching from John Calipari.
He does that with everybody. I mean, he's an equal dispenser of ire. Doesn't matter who you are. You know, it's funny, we're looking at the box score here. Gilchrist has had just an average game, and they're still able to do so many things. Now, I know he guards and does a lot of other things, but they don't need him to ring the bell or have a super game. They don't need anybody to have a super game, just all of them play well.
Absolutely. Darius Miller with a little floater. That's for 2 more, 67-39.
They're still serious in their stance.
Nice.
A little easy pass there. Miller never got on that high side.
Deron Lamb, the sophomore out of Queens. Kid Gilchrist. Same general area of the country. Offensive foul.
Boy, he came off there ready to go to the rim.
Conan's all new next week on TBS. Don't miss Ewan McGregor, Shaquille O'Neal, Joel McHale, and Will Ferrell. All new Conan starting Monday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central on CBS.
They left a dribble exchange right there. A nice setup. Gordon with the anticipation. That's all scouting, knowing they love that dribble handoff. But boy, you paid the price when that guy hit you.
Jamal Crook back on the floor, number 14. Derek Gordon wearing number 5. That's Fant with the screen for the Hilltoppers. Another bump.
Nothing for free. The challenge at the rim.
Called it on T. So Jamal Crook at the free throw line now. The junior hometown right here, Louisville.
You know, I sensed in talking to John yesterday, and we were both together, and then watching him on the sideline, he knows he's got a legitimate shot.
Yes.
But it's going to be how they guard. And most of the things he's been talking to them about is that defensive end, because that's the steady, the influence that's going to change outcomes of games.
(67-42) now. Both teams in the bonus.
There's the dribble handoff and he rolls. Say goodnight. A little better pass. Yeah. That's one of their favorite plays. Whoever plays them next, you better mark that play down. I think the big thing would maybe trap that dribble exchange. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Back outside, half-court offense, 9:50 remaining. And either UConn or Iowa State will be next to play them. Beautiful.
Why not? Wow. Well, he can make him from Portland or he can make him at the rim.
22 points on 9 of 11 from the field. There's the dish, Fant. Nope. Here comes Kentucky. No numbers this time.
Nice
Doesn't
run.
matter, does it?
If everybody doesn't get back, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You were right. They were solid, and one guy lollygags in the back, and you pay for it. Well, if you play Kentucky, you better handle this play, or they're going to put you into special delivery. The run out at the end, sensational.
See real stories of human achievement featured on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. In Louisville, first game of the evening session, Western Kentucky came in having won 7 in a row, including that thriller when they came from 16 down the other night to advance here. Unlike we talked about this afternoon, BYU played the second game in Dayton on Tuesday night. Western Kentucky, having defeated Mississippi Valley State, elected to bus over that night. Got here about 2 in the morning.
Now look at this. I mean,
that's 7 blocks.
Wow. Can he get doubles? Show me something. Step it up.
So if you're keeping score at home, as they used to say, that's 164 for the season.
Interesting. During the Sun Belt, Ray's team did a great job on the glass, you know, +8, 8.5, and here down by 10 in that rebound category roughly, and that's to compete.
Another dunk. Anthony Davis, 74-42. 8:30 to go.
You can see why they shoot at such a high clip, 48%, but +60 tonight. A lot of those highlight reel finishes step up your percentage. And I like Ray over there. He's coaching. He's not worried about the score. See him down the corner?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. This is, you know, it's all about dignity and respect. You know, these kids have done a great job for him and their school. And just a exquisite display by Kentucky tonight.
Well, that one was knocked out of bounds, and it will be Western Kentucky ball. Well, you think about great dunking teams.
Oh, you got to say Houston, right?
Of course, Phi Slamma Jamma.
Phi Slamma Jamma.
One of the great nicknames of any team. Louisville.
Yeah.
Phi Slamma Jamma, and we had Dr.
Duncanstein.
Yeah, that's right.
They were pretty.
Well, this Kentucky team is in the conversation. They're awfully good. Here's the jumper. A little discard by Jones.
They are relentless, though. Look at this. Nice play. That a way to compete. Give it up.
McDonald. Jumper. And why not?
Oh, McDonald with that delivery.
7:35 remaining.
You know, they don't take bad shots either. That's what makes them tough. They make you guard, and they get a good one. Here's their dribble handoff. They have a turnout on the other side.
Rebound Davis. Foul.
He gets in the right spot.
Well, take us through a few of these slam dunks.
This is envy. When you're unable to perform at that level, just sit back and enjoy it. Woo, laying the wood. Big time. The Cats on top.
We direct your attention to the gaudy figures on the right side of the column.
Just too tough, really.
Yeah.
Getting the ball in deep and getting away with some fast break opportunities, attacking that rim.
Here's a pretty good line for Anthony Davis. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 7 block shots.
What's wrong with the assists with this kid? Only 3.
No steals?
No steals?
I mean, come on.
No, he's got 1 steal.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. So,
all right, good. I'm glad that column is not blank.
You know, he's a kind of a kid. He's a blender, too. Like, he doesn't need to be catered to on the floor. He gets it done without demanding or commanding. A little 2-3 zone now. Cal trying to work for some clinic money.
As if he needs it.
Yeah.
Price blocking foul. I think they got Kid Gilchrist on that one. 6:56 remaining. Kentucky will take on either UConn or Iowa State, meeting in the final game here in Louisville tonight. UConn team was here for the first half, watching live. The coaching staff was sitting right behind us, led by George Moiney and Kevin Ollie. Jim Calhoun not out here. And here was the Iowa State out of Ames, Iowa. Off the bus, as they say.
And they pass the ball beautifully. The perimeter people can fill it up. And the mayor has done a sensational job there, Fred Hoiberg.
I'm looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be a fascinating matchup.
I do.
UConn, Iowa State.
Little handoff, turn the corner, go to the rim.
And then just lay it up, present the ball.
I think you've got to double that. If they keep beating you with that, I think you've just got to trap it, let the big guy go to the rim, get your weak side assistance, and then say a prayer.
Price way outside. That's for 3. He's got 21 points. But only 5 in this half. Here's Teague.
Now they post up. Ready.
Well, it'll take a trip around the equator and drop in near Caracas. Jiminy Christmas.
I think that loss probably got their attention too, don't you?
Well, that was against Vanderbilt, right, in the SEC championship game.
Something about losing the dribble exchange here, and this is where I would go trap it and then let this weak side action. I know you're going to stop it every time, but at some point, if that hurts you, and I'm sure whoever ends up playing them, that play should not be as effective if you're prepared for it. And you have equal talent or matching talent.
And that is the question, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know that either UConn or Iowa State. But do you think, in the discussion, that the point has been made, UConn knocked out of the Big East tournament by Syracuse last Thursday. Are they capable, the UConn Huskies, of going on the kind of a run to equal last year's?
Well, they're very talented, but
Okay.
I think they've had a different set of circumstances to deal with.
Right.
You know, from the beginning when Boatwright was declared ineligible until they straightened that out, and then Jim Calhoun's sickness, and just one upheaval after another. But can they get it all organized in the 5 or 6 days they've been off? I don't know. McDonald keeps perking out there.
Khalil McDonald, 80-55. 4:41 to go. Season's going to come to an end for the Hilltoppers out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And they will wind up 16-19, but put together a memorable run here at the end of the year under their new head coach. They removed the interim label from Ray Harper's resume, and he is the head coach. There's another jumper and a timeout called by John Calipari.
Well, they got a good one in Ray Harper, don't you think? I mean, he's got them playing right to the end.
Well, we mentioned that Ray Harper was a point guard for Abe Lemons at the University of Texas, played on a really good team. His roommate, it turns out, was Mike Wacker, who was a really gifted forward, 6'8", had a knee injury when that team, the Texas team, was 14-0, and it cost Mike Wacker a year and a half. And we had such fun yesterday chatting with Ray Harper about those old days. Mike Wacker is now a very successful high school coach in Converse, Judson. And that's a suburb of San Antonio. Ray was telling us that Mike's got a son who's going to be a pretty good player himself. And his dad, Mike Wacker's dad, it all comes full circle, I promise you, was Jim Wacker. The late Jim Wacker, who was a football coach at my alma mater, Texas Lutheran, at Southwest Texas State, at North Dakota State, Minnesota TCU. Wonderful, wonderful man.
Just keep on working here. And Vern, quickly, how about the story with the casket? I know we've heard it, mentioned it on occasion.
Well, I told it last week. It had to do with Abe Lemons, who we've said was one of the funniest men ever. And they did lose Mike Wacker for the year, and Abe Lemons opened his television show the next weekend. Here's Wilcher, no. And it was a live show. Here's a spot up three again. And a foul called. And just a reprise, but Abe Lemons opened the show, and they zoomed in on him. He was in a suit and an open casket. And as they got close, he sat up and said, "We ain't dead yet."
Ernie Johnson in New York. Let's get you up to speed. First on True TV, Baylor fell behind 19-7 against South Dakota State. There's Anthony Jones put up a 29-9 run. They lead at the half. On CBS, Darius Theus and VCU having their way, and now Wichita State starting to come back. It's a 6-point game. And on TNT, the junior Frenchman, Guy Landry-Eddy for Gonzaga. Look what they are doing to West Virginia, playing close to home in Pittsburgh. Go figure. Vern.
All right, and while we were updating you, the first free throw was canned. Here is the second and the miss. So the score now after the first free throw, 81-59 Kentucky.
And if Iowa State were to play Kentucky, that's a tough matchup too, because
I think so, yes.
The ability to move the ball for Iowa State. Nice power move. Doug Fant would be more of a factor. The one thing too, I think, when you play Davis, you got to be physical. I think you got to move him off the box, make more body contact with him. Festus Ezeli, for example, with Vandy was able to do that.
2:45 to go.
Nice
try. The margin is 20 now. 81-61. Oh, ball got loose. Derek Gordon. McDonald chases it down and has to bring it back outside. Khalil McDonald, number 3. Jamal Crook has it.
They've done that little 3-man baseline bump.
Van, nice. Had to muscle it up, but he got it to drop. And 81-63 the score with 2:05 to go. Fan has 13, every one of them in this half. Under 2.
It's interesting, John doesn't really, a lot of guys don't play very often, and he really plays 7 people when you think of it.
Well, at the 7-minute mark, we were wondering when he might go to his bench and let some of the guys get their name in the box score. He hasn't done it yet.
Well, maybe he thinks they need this, you know, just to get the kinks out, get organized.
Hilltoppers, here's Crook. McDonald, why not? Why not? Sure. Fill it up. What the heck?
Not too bad, huh?
No.
3, is that 13 for him, roughly? I think it is.
13. 15-point margin with 1:10 to go.
See, this team has style. They keep running a double tick because of the shortcut by Gordon.
And that's a turnover. Well, among those in the stands, Pat Riley. And among his many accomplishments in basketball. A treasured member of the Kentucky teams, 1964-67. He, of course, was a starter on one of the Kentucky teams that lost the NCAA to Don Haskins and Texas Western. That one's over the top. And you were at the game.
I was, you know.
How about that?
Of course, Larry Conley, one of our pals, played there. Louis Dampier. But Don Haskins' defense was sensational there. My high school coach took me to the game, and it was my first NCAA. And I've been to many since, but never with a team, unfortunately.
It took me a while.
Pat's done a great job on all levels of basketball.
Final 25 seconds. Well, now John Calipari is going to send 4 young men in.
With 22.
Yeah, I was thinking about Larry Conley was an analyst. He's just a wonderful guy. And he and I did a game at Bowling Green, Western Kentucky. We went inside. It seemed like it was 45 degrees. While we were inside, a blizzard. The Alberta Clipper came through. Larry and I, en route back to Nashville, our car slid off into a ditch. We wound up getting to the Nashville airport in a pickup truck.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Who was in the back? You were, I can't picture you in the back, you know, with the gun rack.
No, it was a family of 3, and Larry and me all in the front seat. It was very interesting. And they were very nice.
They want him to shoot.
Shoot it!
And John will have none of that.
And so Kentucky, the top seed in the tournament. No problem at all from the midway point of the second half. And the season has come to an end. Quite a run at the end of the year for the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. Kentucky advances to the Saturday game, and they will take on either UConn or Iowa State. That game will get a tip time of approximately 9:20 Eastern. And the final here, 81-61. Tournament games continue now on CBS, TNT, and True TD. Coming up on TBS, it's Iowa State and UConn. 81-66 the final. We'll send you to our studio after these messages.